Today we'll be working with scientific notation. Scientific notation is a way to write very large numbers or very small numbers. Scientists find that scientific notation is more efficient and convenient for them to write numbers because they're usually dealing with very microscopic sizes or very exponential numbers. Some things to keep in mind regarding scientific notation. First, we will be taking a number and multiplying it by a power of 10. This first number that is being multiplied by that power of 10 has to be very specific. It must be one of two situations. It must be greater than negative 10, or it must be less than or equal to negative 1. Or it will be greater than or equal to 1 or less than 10. Basically, it's a one-digit number. But it could also be a one-digit number plus its decimal, like 5.6 or 7 or 9.23. Either way, it has to be less than that 10. No double digits to the left of the decimal. The other thing to know is this exponent. The exponent is going to let you know if you're dealing with a very small number or a very large number. If the exponent is positive, we are dealing with a very large number. The decimal will be moved to the right. If we have a negative exponent, we're dealing with a very small number. The decimal will be moved to the left. Particularly these numbers that are negative, we're talking are going to be between -1 and +1. Very, very tiny decimal numbers. While we work through this lesson, it'd be a good idea to be using your scientific calculator. Now, we use the TIXS that's in school, so that's the functions that we're going to be using on this calculator. First, we need to know how to change the calculator into the scientific mode. In order to do this, I want you to press the second key, followed by the DRG key. When you press the DRG key, you're going to get across your screen 3 functions of your calculator. Use your arrow key to underline SCI and then press enter. The other thing we need to keep in mind is how to reset our calculator. In order to reset the calculator properly, I want you to hold the on button and then press the clear button and let them go at the same time, and your calculator will say mem cleared. This will also reset your calculator back into its basic functions and out of scientific mode. This is a wise thing to do anytime you get this calculator out because somebody could have messed with the functions of your calculator. Let's go over this again. This is the picture of your calculator that we've been using in class. In order to change it into scientific notation or into the scientific functions, press the second key, then the DRG key. Across the top of your screen, you're going to see FLO, SCI, ENG. Using the right arrow, underline SCI, and then press enter. This will place your calculator into scientific notation. First question. Use a single digit times a power of 10 to estimate the height of Mount Everest to the nearest 10,000 feet. Mount Everest is 29,035 feet tall. We want the nearest 10,000 feet. So that would be approximately 30,000 feet tall. If you want to put this into your scientific calculator, it will convert it for you immediately. Remember your steps. Press second, DRG, underline SCI, and press enter. Once you have done this, you can type 30,000 into your calculator and press enter. Your calculator will immediately give you 3 times 10 to the 4th power. But if you do not have a calculator handy, we may have to do this by hand. And even those with a calculator handy will have to do some of these by hand. First thing we need to do is we need to identify where the decimal is. You can't find it, it's behind it. And it's 30,000.0, so my decimal's at the end. We need to move the decimal to a place where we have a number that is greater than 1 but less than 10. That would mean moving the decimal to the left between the 3 and the 0. That means we move to the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 times to the left, giving us the 3 times 10 to the 4th power. The exponent is the number of times the decimal is moved. And if the decimal goes to the left from a large number, the exponent will be positive. But if we move the decimal to the right with a very small number, then the decimal is going to be negative, just like in the next example. Scientists record the mass of a proton as this many gram. And we want to use a single digit times a power of 10 to estimate the mass. So we want a number times 10 with an exponent. Your calculator can do this for you, but you need to very carefully count the number of zeros. If you do not have your calculator with you, then you need to move your decimal. We need to move our decimal between the 1 and the 6. And in order to do that, we are going to move the decimal to the right 24 times. Since we move the decimal to the right, it's negative 24. And that gives us 1.6. But it tells us we want a single digit, so 1.6 will round to 2. 2 times 10 to the negative 24th gram is an approximation of the mass of a proton. The tanks at the Georgia Aquarium hold approximately 8.4 times 10 to the 6th power gallons of water. The tanks at the Audubon Aquarium of the Americas hold about 400,000 gallons of water. Use a single digit times a power of 10 to estimate how many times greater the amount of water is at the Georgia Aquarium. The Georgia Aquarium is the greater number. So when we do our work, we want to use the Georgia Aquarium number first. And that is said to be 8.4 times 10 to the 6th power. If we want to use a single digit, then we need to round that 8.4. And that will round approximately to 8 times 10 to the 6th power. We know that we are comparing it to the Audubon Aquarium, and the Audubon Aquarium is said to be about 400,000 gallons. So we want to do the Georgia Aquarium divided by the Audubon Aquarium. When we put this into our calculator, we find that it is approximately 20 times greater in water at the Georgia Aquarium. 20 times greater. If we write this in scientific notation, that's about 2.0 times 10 to the 1st power. We're going to write the following numbers in standard form. And if you don't have a calculator, you will have to do it by hand. But sometimes doing these on the calculator is not effective. One particularly would be this first number. It is 9.225 times 10 to the 18th power. Sometimes the calculators just don't have a large enough screen to do this. So we're going to do this one by hand. We're going to start with 9.225. and my exponent is 18. That means I need to move my decimal 18 places. And I'm going to move it to the right because my exponent is positive, telling me that I'm going to have a very large number. So I'm going to begin counting. 1, 2, 3. I've run out of numbers, so now I'm going to have to start putting zeros in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 movements to the right. That means I have to put in 15 zeros to have the standard form of my number. 9, 2, 2, 5, followed by 15 zeros. Our next number is 6.3 times 10 to the negative 8th power. Since the decimal is negative, I'm creating a very small number. So my decimal is going to have to move 8 places to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to have to insert 7 zeros. 0. And that is the standard form of 6.3 times 10 to the negative 8th power. Let's do one more. Let's express 586,400,000 in scientific notation. If we're putting this in scientific notation, we need a number that is greater than 1 but less than 10. And it needs to be multiplied by a power of 10. My decimal has to be placed somewhere in my number so that I have a number that is less than 10. So let's look at our number. The decimal is at the back. If I move it up between the 5 and the 8, I have 5.864. That is larger than 1, less than 10. That is an acceptable size number for scientific notation. My exponent comes from how many places I had to move my decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And since I'm going from a number that is large, my exponent is going to be positive. Let's go to the second handout that we have, where we have some word problem practice involving scientific notation. This is even better for when we have our calculators. And if you don't have a scientific calculator on hand, please use the one that is linked on Canvas that goes to the Desmos calculator. It does great work with scientific notation as well. You just have to play with the functions to find out exactly how to do the work. Your first question, the planet Venus is on average 2.5 times 10 to the 7th power kilometers from Earth. The planet Mars is on average 2.25 times 10 to the 8th power kilometers from Earth. When Venus, Earth, and Mars are aligned, what is the average distance from Venus to Mars? When they're aligned, so Venus to Earth to Mars. We know that from Venus to Earth is 2.5 times 10 to the 7th power. And from Earth to Mars is 2.25 times 10 to the 8th power. We want to know the distance from Venus to Mars. We need to add these two together. Something I want you to keep in mind. When we're doing operations with scientific notation, it is going to be very important to put each individual value into parentheses. That means when we go to add these two distances, 2.5 times 10 to the 7th power needs to be in parentheses. Then press your addition key. Then 2.25 times 10 to the 8th power needs to be in a set of parentheses. This is going to prevent any mishaps with the process of order of operations inside of your calculator. If putting this into your calculator and pressing enter, your calculator will give you 2.5 times 10 to the 8th power. A queen ant lays 1.83 times 10 to the 6th power eggs over a period of 30 days. Assuming she lays the same number of eggs each day, about how many eggs does she lay in one day? Express your answer in scientific notation. We know the total amount of eggs the queen ant lays in a period of 30 days, but we want to know for one day. This is a division problem. We need to take the total number of eggs and divide it by the number of days. Remember, when placing this into your calculator, the 1.83 times 10 to the 6th power needs to be in parentheses. When we do this in our calculator, we find out that the queen ant can lay 6.1 times 10 to the 4th power eggs in one day. That is a lot of ants. The Confederation Bridge connects New Brunswick to Prince Edward Island. The main part of the bridge rests on piers that form 43 segments. What is the approximate length of the main part of the bridge? Express your answer in scientific notation. In the picture, we see that the length of one segment is 8.2 times 10 to the 2nd power feet. The question wants to know the total length of the bridge when it has 43 segments. This is going to be a multiplication problem. We're going to take the length of one segment and multiply it by the total number of segments being 43. And we find that the length of this bridge is approximately 3.526 times 10 to the 4th power feet. This is the end of your scientific notation lesson. We want you to go through and practice the rest of the problems on these handouts. Use your calculator as much as possible, and at times, if you can't use your calculator, practice it by hand. Remember, scientific notation is going to be two numbers. One of them needs to be equal to or greater than 1, but less than 10. The number that comes after that is a power of 10. The exponent, if it's negative, you have a very tiny number, but if the exponent is positive, we're going to have a very large number. Good luck on the rest of these, and if you have any questions, ask. Also, we are available online from 2:15 to 3 o'clock each day to help you with any further questions.